Chowdhury, Pep Talk UK, genuinely excited, and I've had butterflies before this interview, which is well overdue. Now, I was thinking of introductions, and I thought I'm going to do my best David Diamante, and I'm going to say a young, undefeated fighter fighting out of London, England, by way of Mogadishu, Somalia. Please welcome Somali boxer Ramla Ali. Wait for it. Ali.
Oh, I love it. I love it when he does the surname twice. It's so cool. But it literally just makes you feel like you're ready. Do you know what I mean?
He gave you a better intro for the second fight at Wembley as you were doing the ring. Well, go watch it back. In the first fight, he didn't do that much of an. He didn't. Maybe he went Eddie Hearn presents Matchroom live from Wembley Arena, and then he introduces Beck Connolly for the fight, and then he went into his David Diamante about Ramla Ali. But for the first one, he just went. I think it was making a pro debut, Ramla Ali. But now he had a bit of Mogadishu in there by way of England. I thought, go on, David, done your research on the lady.
Well, he actually asked me before, obviously, like you're in a fight bubble. He came up to me. He said, "Ramla, do you have like a nickname that I can introduce you with?" And I said, "No, I don't. I'm sorry. I feel like nicknames are just things that should be given to you. Like you shouldn't sort of give it to yourself, if that makes sense." So, as of yet, nothing has been given to me. I mean, a few people have been. So there's this old folk tale, and I think it's true as well. But like there used to be this queen in Somalia called Arawelo, and she was like this amazing queen that was very powerful, and she would always fight for women's rights and favor women's voices over men. And like people have been saying, "Oh, this is Arawelo resurrected," and I might actually use that. Ramla Arawelo Ali, but I don't know. We'll see.
Actually like Smiley Boxer.
Ramla Somali Boxer Ali.
Somali Boxer Ali, because again, obviously you've got a brilliant backstory. Not so brilliant in terms of the struggle was real. You've lived it with what happened with your brother in Mogadishu, then coming over on a boat to the UK. So, but we all know of what happened at school. What you went through, how you got into boxing, but I love the identity that Somali Boxer. It just says it for itself, and I know it makes your mum proud, it makes your family proud. But again,
I think that's how everybody knows me. If you mention Smiley Boxer, people will be like, "Oh, Ramla Ali."
There's only one. There's only one. We know, and Somali Boxer. And I think as a nickname, because I was thinking of loads of nicknames, I was looking it up, and I thought, what is her nickname? And I went, Somali Boxer's there. It's there. It's not even taken. It's yours. It's your identity. You've been around the circuit for a very long time. So there you go. I'm happy with Somali Boxer.
I'm getting there. We'll see. I'm still no nicknames. Until something powerful, I get drawn in by something powerful. But I really like Smiley Boxer, so I'll put it on the list for sure.
I put something up in my Instagram story early on in the week. It was about a book, and I've had loads of DMs about it because I asked for a personalized copy, as I do. Not without a fight. 10 steps to becoming your own champ.
Yeah.
Is this a story of your life? Is it what is the book about?
So I was on it honestly. Like I was initially approached by the publisher, by like several publishers to release a, is it an autobiography? Is that it's called?
I think it is.
Yeah, autobiography. And I just felt like it was a bit too premature in my career. Like I was a bit too premature in my career to sort of release one. But I did like the idea of releasing a book, something I initially wanted to write like a children's book, something really nice, colorful, and and publishers were like, look, we can do something, let's do something better, and let's write a self-help book. So what this book is 10 important fights in my career and 10 very important life lessons I've learned as a result of those fights. Not all of them are wins, a lot of them are losses, but there's always a lesson you will learn from each one. And I'm hoping that each chapter sort of helps you become, what's the word, better. It helps you navigate,
improved as a person.
improve. And it's like aimed at young adults, but like adults can pick it up as well. And it's hopefully a navigation through life to sort of help you achieve your dreams. So it's like a self-help book with autobiographical elements in it. So you can't talk about 10 important fights in your career without describing what you went through and putting your life story bits into it. Otherwise it's just the, you know what I mean?
America has Hollywood.
Yeah.
India has Bollywood. Pakistan has Lollywood. What does
Somalia
have? Yeah, Lollywood. What does Somalia have? Do you have a Sollywood?
I wish. Do you know what? Somali films are usually just dubbed Bollywood films.
Because I'm thinking once the autobiography comes out about your life story,
yeah,
what's happened,
mm.
I'm gonna, obviously I'm in with you and I'm in with like the people around you. I'm gonna get myself the role of, do you know the uncle?
Yeah.
The uncle.
Well, you know what?
I'm here, Ramla. I will speak to your mum. I'm gonna learn the phrases, whatever language. If it's in Hindi, if it's in English, if it's in Somali, I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna play that role. I think I've got the white beard. I can be the mature uncle now.
Oh, fantastic. Well, funny you should say that, but like Film 4 are making a movie on my life story. So a few years ago, they bought the rights to make it into a film. It's still in the pipeline, but the producer that the lady who's producer, it's two amazing female producers. One of them won a BAFTA and was nominated for an Oscar for the film The Favourite. I don't know if you
I can't was it now?
And then the director won a BAFTA and was also nominated for an Oscar, I believe, for that Ronaldo documentary. So it's like good people, basically, people that I trust to tell this story very, very well, who have over time essentially become like family. So, I trust them fully with making this film brilliant and a masterpiece.
What? You've got an expert sitting at home, Richard Moore, hubby, who has been involved in the film industry as well. He was one of the guys behind the Josh Warrington film that came out, and I know me and Richard had good chats about it. I will do a separate interview one day with Richard, like This Is Your Life one, of what it was like living with the Somali boxer. But generally, you come across the saying that behind every successful man, there's a successful woman or a great woman. In your case, I always look at you as a power couple, because Richard stays in the background quite well, which again is he's a very secure man to be able to do so, and he allows you to flourish, and he's there on a day-to-day basis with you.
Yeah, he doesn't actually. You know what? He doesn't even have Instagram. Then that you said it. He's just happy and very secure to be in the background. I mean, he's helped me a lot over the past few years in securing, sponsorships and like endorsements and things like that. And it's quite funny because before him, I went out to these same brands and these same whatevers trying to secure these sponsorships and these endorsements, and I just kept getting a closed door after a closed door after, like, people just kept closing the doors on me. And it's quite funny that it took my white husband to get me these sponsorships. Like, why, like, am I, do people not, can people not see me? Does that make sense? Like, why did it take a white man to do it? That's just something that's always baffled me. I'm obviously very grateful to have all these, you know, these opportunities that I have now, but it shouldn't have taken that situation to have got me there.
The struggle in your personal life, the upbringing was
Yeah.
there, but then with Richard, I've seen you go through most gyms in London or around the country. The travel, it's all good. Everyone's piling on now with the sponsorships now, because you're becoming, if not already, a household name, hopefully a global superstar. We'll come back onto your net worth when you Google you. I'll tell you that in a bit.
Someone messaged me that.
I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that in a bit.
Oh, my friend messaged me that. He was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you were killing it. I mean, I knew you were doing well, but I didn't know you were killing it." And I was like, "Are you mad? I wish I had that in my bank account."
If you type in Ramla Ali net worth, it comes up between 1 million and 2 million US dollars. So I know who I'm gonna. I know who's on my. I know who's on my Eid card list now.
That is a lie. That is a lie. Me and Richard literally live out of a suitcase. We go from home to home to home to home. I'm very, very lucky and very fortunate that I have these amazing sponsors. So if you see on the back of my shorts, it says PH. It stands for Palm Heights. So basically, it's this like luxury boutique hotel in Grand Cayman Island, and they're just amazing. And anytime, you know, we need a place, they like property developers and things like that. So in the UK and New York and Miami, I think as well. So like anytime, you know, we need a place to stay in the UK, they let us stay in one of their properties. And that's just amazing that they think of me as family. And I even said it in a recent post, like I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for their continued help and support. So that net worth thing is a lie, because I'm living rent free in someone's house at the moment.
You traveled the world. I know the glitz and glamour will come, but it's a far cry from your amateur days where you're flying off to places in Africa, where you're flying off to even India championships. And it's just you, because I remember meeting you and Richard, and I remember seeing you, and I've been along the journey watching it, and it's the phone calls, the languages, the trying to get from A to B. It's not, and from a very small team compared to big teams around you.
100%. You know, it's just me and Richard in all these tournaments around the world, and then you get, you know, these big countries like USA, GB, France, who come with like a team of 50, and it's quite intimidating. But then you just sort of think, you know what, I'm the underdog, no pressure, I'm just going to do me. And I think a lot of people, that's what they sort of fell in love with. It was just the me and Rich combo, like me and Richard combination, and that we weren't as intimidating. And that's why we've made so many friends around the world. We always used to get invited to different sparring camps and, you know, things like that. Like we'd always get invited, and, you know, sparring after competitions, people would always want to spar, because they saw the struggle and they just wanted to help. But what was the hardest thing, the most hardest thing doing international competitions was if ever it was a very close fight or a split decision, it would always go to the other person, because Somalia used to get 0 ratings. Any small country gets 0 ratings. So if you ever like in a very tight bout, the split decision will always go the other way. A split decision has never come my way. I would always win by unanimous or lose by a split. I've never ever won by a split in an international competition.
I remember talking to Richard and yourself several years ago, and there was conversations about that there weren't a Somali boxing federation as such, and where do you start and who do you contact? Where's that got to now? Where are we with a Somali boxing federation?
So we obviously set up the Somali Boxing Federation, you know, so I could compete. I wanted, back in like 2016, when it was, you know, evident that GB didn't want me, I was going to either quit boxing or turn professional, but I didn't really want to turn professional because I didn't feel ready. You know, 8-ounce gloves, no head guard. That's a huge step. And I wanted the experience of going abroad, going to these international competitions, fighting the best in the world, and gaining that invaluable experience, you know, of how to box this aggressive come forward boxer, or like this rangy southpaw. You know, you get all these different styles doing competitions abroad. You can't avoid anyone. The draw is the draw. And I wanted that experience. And I feel like that experience has definitely prepared me for life as a pro, for sure.
258 management. I remember a couple of years back at the Peacock, you were doing a training session. Richard was there, and up came Will to have a little sit down and a chat. Obviously, 258 management, Anthony Joshua, big global superstar. You've got Lance Okoli now with him, world champion. Josh Barazzi, guaranteed world champion. Ramla Ali, guaranteed world champion. I said it. How did that come about with 258 management, AJ?
Same again, like Richard is just, he knows what I deserve, and he knows, and he'll just go out and get it. I was on a photo shoot for the Wonderland magazine cover with Barazzi, with Josh, and he spotted Will, and he just went up to him, and he just hyped me up, talked me up, and said, "You need to sign her." And I think the very first meeting, you know, that day at the Wonderland shoot, it was very like rushed. Their talk was very rushed. So I think Will agreed to come and meet Richard one day after training at Peacock's, and that meeting just thrived. And I think, yeah, I'm with 258, and I think the reason is because of Richard, because he hyped me up so much.
Pantene, Vogue, UNICEF, Meghan Markle, there's so much to talk to you about, but do you ever get starstruck?
I get starstruck all the time. My very first fashion event I went to was at the Serpentine. I don't know if it's a gallery or something, the Serpentine something. It was like a Vogue party, and, you know, I was told, you know, behave yourself, and, you know, there's going to be a lot of celebrities there, but, you know, act natural. And I was just like, forget that. I'm going to go up to everyone that I know is a celebrity, and I'm going to ask for a picture. And I think I was the only one doing it. I was like, oh, I'm going to go get a picture. Oh, I'm going to go get a picture. But the good thing to have come from that is I met Sabrina Elba, Idris Elba's wife, and I went up to her and I was like, oh my God, you're Idris Elba's wife. The first thing I said to her actually was, is Idris here? And she's like, no, he couldn't be here. And then I said, can I please take a picture? And she said, yes, of course. But I was going to ask if I can get a picture with you. I said, you're lying. She's like, I'm a massive fan. Like, oh, you're lying. She's like, I'm being serious. And she pulled out her phone. She said, look, I follow you. I was like, oh my God. So then we took a picture, and then we've become really good friends ever since. I mean, I've even been round to her house once for dinner, and it was really nice.
I had you gearing up pre-lockdown for Tokyo 2020. You turned pro. If the Olympics come back round, is that going to happen? Is it something that you're still considering?
Oh, 100%. Obviously, they've cancelled the world qualifiers, which was like the last attempt to get to Tokyo. My first attempt didn't end so well. I don't know if you know what happened, but I feel like I should explain. I was in the African qualifiers, and round one, I drew Kenya, and then I beat her unanimous. And then round two, I had Tunisia. And she was like this she must have been no more than 5'3", and I'm like 5'7". So I kept her long the whole time. And so she thought, you know what, I'm just going to play dirty. So any opportunity she got, she'd just throw me to the floor. and the ref would say nothing, and I kept looking at the ref to say something, and he wouldn't say anything. And then I think in the second round, as she threw me to the floor, I think my glove grabbed her vest, and she kind of fell on top of me. And what she did, it was very dirty, but she put both gloves into my chest and she just pushed like that. And I literally, it took the wind out of me, and I yelled so loud because it was quite a weird feeling, and I felt like I couldn't breathe for like a second. Still, the ref said nothing. She threw me again for the third time. The ref said nothing. And the fourth time, he said nothing. By this point, he should have deducted a point, which is in the rules. You do more than 2 knockdowns, the third one should be a point deduction. So he said nothing. And so she ended up winning the bout. I think it was a split 3-2. And it was really devastating because I was winning. And it was just the hardest thing for me to swallow. Like, I was inconsolable for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Because the thing is if you get beaten by the better boxer, you got beaten by the best boxer. But if someone's just playing dirty, it's like, how do you sort of come to terms with that? You think to your head, oh, I wish I didn't let her grab me, or I wish I didn't. Do you know what I mean? There's always all these what ifs. So then it was like, okay, pick myself up. Let me start training for the world qualifiers. And then obviously the pandemic hit and everything was like called off. And then no tournaments were going ahead, like no international tournaments. Everything was just So I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn pro. Like, I always wanted to turn pro after Tokyo anyways. So let me just turn pro now. At least this way, I'll still be active. You know, I won't be one of those boxers that's had like a year out and then I'm going to go back into the world qualifiers. So let me be active. And then the other day, you know, all the federations got an email to say that the world qualifiers will be cancelled and the last remaining spots will be allocated by world rankings and continental rankings. And I'm still very hopeful that I'll get a spot because my African rankings are quite high. So fingers crossed that happens. And then I'll get my revenge on Tunisia, who qualified, by the way. People like that don't deserve anything, I swear to God. So she qualified, and then a girl that I'd beaten previously in the African Championships also qualified. So that was quite hard as well. But yeah, very hopeful to still be going to Tokyo.
After your last fight,
yeah,
great fight. You went through the gears, showed more to the world of what Ramla Ali is all about. Yeah. It was sweet, but there was a sour note to it as well, where you ended up putting a tweet out in Somali, which said, Lanka Yushig.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Basically, how did that come about? What happened for you to then put that tweet out?
I think it was, so as you said, great performance, but there was just a couple of things that I didn't agree with. Firstly, there was a couple of tweets put out by someone, a radio presenter. I'm not going to name names, but like, he was very derogatory towards me, myself, and my opponent, Bet Conley, which is not fair because at the end of the day, we're both in the ring, we're both boxers. Regardless of the fact that we're women, treat us as boxers and treat us fairly. And then a second thing was a presenter was like, you know, she's very pretty, so she'll go far in boxing. And the thing is why does my looks have anything to do with my skills and my abilities? Like, you know, obviously it's a compliment, and yes, it's very nice to hear things like that, but that moment in time, you should be talking about my boxing and nothing else. So yeah, I put out that tweet of, you know, treat me equal. You wouldn't necessarily see a female presenter talking about a man saying, oh, check him out, he's fit. Oh, look at his legs. Oh, you wouldn't get that. So why do some people think it's okay to do that towards women? So that really annoyed me, that people couldn't see past the people just couldn't see the boxing and just like thought of me as, you know, something else and whatever. So yeah, I put that tweet out, and yeah, I think it got a lot of traction, and a lot of people were just like, what's she talking about? What's this? What's that?
I'm gonna describe it as polite as I can. It basically means talk to the hand. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, yeah, it literally it sort of means talk to the hand, but not as nice as Shaz has made it out to be.
Lovely. I loved it. I saw it and I went, really? Because obviously from an Asian background, we have similar phrases.
You know what actually quite irritated me about that Bet Conley fight was, you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, I don't know if Ramla's ready for this fight. It's only her second fight. And then people were online on Twitter saying, oh, I think Ramla's going to lose, and, you know, X, Y, and Z. And you're just like, the heck? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion, whatever. But it's just like, yeah.
What's next?
What's next? So I've got to let this. So the stitches came out on Saturday. The stitches came out last week. Sorry, the stitches came out a week Sunday. So a week gone Sunday. No sparring for 6 weeks. So I've already done 2 weeks of no sparring. I really wanted to like get out again in May, but I don't know if that's going to happen because of obviously no sparring for 6 weeks. Yeah, so who knows? We'll see.
I've seen you say you want to build up and you feel you want to earn a world title fight.
Yeah.
If it's there, it's available. I know you've only had 2 pro fights, but
Yeah.
Clarissa Shields started having world title fights very early on.
Who? Sorry?
Clarissa Shields.
Oh, yeah.
Started having world title fights very early on.
Yeah.
Is now 2-weight and she's only had, what, 11 fights?
Oh, no. Incredible.
If they're there, are you going to wait for that world title fight? Or if it's there and you feel, yeah, I can do this, 3, 4, maybe 5 fights in, would you go and just get on with it?
100%. If it's there and obviously Richard and Joby feel like I'm ready, then 100% I'm going to take it. But one thing that I've said to them is that I don't want to be rushed. So if you know, we all have to feel ready, not just them feeling that I'm ready. Like I need to feel ready as well. And I've said that from the start, I don't want to be rushed. And so if I do feel ready and if they feel I'm ready in fight number 4, fight number 5, fight number 6, whatever, then 100% I'll go out and do it. But I'm not just going to take a fight for the sake of taking a fight, because that just puts women's boxing, it doesn't really, what's the word I'm looking for? It makes it seem like a joke. Is that right?
It does, but you can only, at the end of the day, if it was a 100-meter race and you are the fastest at 100 meters, it doesn't matter whether you've done it 100 times or it's the first time. That's what I firmly believe.
Yeah.
People always rises to the top. It doesn't matter whether it's your first fight. It's the story. I'm a romanticist. I love stuff like that. And whether it's your first fight or your 50th fight, I love the backstory. I love everything about boxing. And whether you're female or you're male, if the story's right, the person's right, and they've worked hard for it, because again, I re-emphasize, the struggle has been real. Everyone on the pro journey is going to see it. Oh, well, she's with AJ 258. She's on Sky. She's on Matchroom. But a lot of people just,
you know what? A lot of people just see that, but they don't see all the years of the, like you said, the struggle. I started boxing when I was 12, going on 13. I obviously didn't start competing until I was like 19, and then obviously I've been doing competitions for God knows how long. I've been doing international stuff for the last 4 years, world championships, African championships, African games, all of this. Like I've done a lot of stuff, and all of that was a struggle. 0 funding. Everything was paid for by me and Richard with all our life savings. We were on the verge of being homeless, you know, until Nike came on board. So yeah, people don't see all of that. People just see the Ramla now, this glitz and glamour of, you know, she's doing this modeling shoot and that modeling shoot, which I have to do, by the way, because let's be honest, boxing doesn't pay women enough to just live, you know, to live on off of. So, you know, I obviously enjoy the modeling and I love it, and I love you know, getting dolled up and stuff. I was actually having anxiety this morning about it, thinking, oh God, I haven't done a shoot in a long time. Like, I really want to do another one. But yeah, like, I feel like that's all people see now, and they don't see all of those years of the struggle that me and Richard had to go through, basically.
And that's where the autobiographies, the Film 4 series, the interviews, that's where it'll all come to light. And again,
you can talk about this 10, 20 times. People will never listen. People always just like, huh? I didn't know that.
Well, on a personal experience, look.
I've spoken about it 50 times.
On a personal experience, you saw before we started this, my girls wanted to say hello to you.
Yeah.
I remember we were at York Hall. I think Conor Ben was fighting, and I had a couple of my cousin's sons with me, and they stood and took a picture with you between them two. And they went, oh, like Ramla Ali. And I went, go home and ask your mum. And the mum knew who you were. Obviously,
oh my God,
there's a lot of people championing you. And I'm hoping Somalia gets behind you, East Africa, Africa, the UK, women in general, men, everyone gets behind you because you appeal to everyone. And I personally find you an inspiration. I find Richard an inspiration. And the more I see of you, the more I see of Richard, because I've seen you up close and personal. I'm inspired by the story, the stuff that Richard's obviously faced coming into the community. There's just so much to you as a couple, the power couple.
I mean, I'm not sure we're a power couple, but
$1 million, $2 million power couple.
Oh my God, I wish I was worth 2 million, Shaz. Trust me, I'd have a nice house by now. No, but there's still, like, you know, there's still a lot of struggle now that we go through, you know, day in, day out. I mean, I struggle to, like, sparring partners constantly cancelling. That's obviously quite hard. I have, you know, one sparring partner that I can always rely on no matter what. Jokey, a very talented male boxer who's yet to make his debut. But like, if a female cancels on me in sparring, he'd be the first person I'd call, and he'll just be like, okay, cool, give me a couple of hours. Even if he's trained that day and he's really knackered, he knows that I need the rounds, and he'll just make the trip because he knows how important the sparring element is. So yeah, there is still a lot of struggle, you know, the fact that we're living out of a suitcase, you know, going from place to place to place to place. People don't see any of that because all they see is the magazine covers and the very nice, expensive gifts that brands send to me, you know, that I put up to say thank you on social media for, and things like that. Like, nobody knows the struggle that we still have today.
And then you still make time for your weekly community classes where the sisters boxing, is it?
Sisters Club.
The Sisters Club, where you get the sisters joining you, learning self-defense.
Yeah. Every Sunday, I've been doing that for a really long time. Obviously, since the pandemic, I've had to do it via Zoom. But every week, every Sunday, the girls log in. We're doing an hour of, you know, half of it is based on learning the proper techniques of boxing, and then the other half is like the conditioning, the important elements of boxing as well, conditioning, you know, the groundwork, getting your core and your legs strong and things like that. And they enjoy it, and they tune in every Sunday.
People often ask me, because there is that distinction between male and female boxers, who my female favorite boxer is, and my answer's always been pro Cecilia Breakers, amateur Ramla Ali. You now come at just the right time with Cecilia phasing to the twilight. Magnificent career to take that mantle.
You've had an amazing career. Someone asked me, who's your favorite boxer at the moment? And I said Cecilia Brackhouse. What an inspiration she has been, to have held her belts for such a long time and like defended it again and again and again and again. what an amazing woman, what an inspiration. Yeah,
I followed her to Oslo to watch her fight,
yeah,
and it was shortly after Chris Eubank Jr. fought Ronaldo in the Earl's Court.
yeah.
She filled out the Oslo Spectrum. She filled out Bergen, like arenas. I saw her in Monaco, and I'm telling you, the amount of following that lady has. I think us in the UK, for her to have, like yourself with what you're doing with Somalia, what she did for Norway and legalized boxing again, fantastic. What an inspirational woman.
What an inspiration, exactly. I mean, if in 10 years time you ask someone else, who's your favorite boxer, and they say Ramla, oh, that would be a dream.
Well, I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it now. So there you go. Your dreams, your dreams already come true. And
Oh,
there
what a
you
dream.
go. Ramla Ali already. Ramla, I always sign off with letting people shout out their social media handles. So I'll let you do that. And if there's anyone you want to thank, and don't miss anyone out, Richard, I thank Richard on your behalf already, but I'll let you thank anyone you want to thank or anyone you want to shout
You're
out.
a true Richard fan. So my Instagram handle, should you wish to follow, is Ramla Ali. It's all one word. Shout out to my osteo. Actually, he's bloody amazing. He always comes to see me every Sunday to my house, and just fixes all my niggles, just to make sure I'm injury free throughout camp. My S&C coach, Liam Mystery, obviously that's self-explanatory. Richard, you already bigged him up, but I'm going to big him up again. My nutritionist, Scott Robinson, who he obviously hates me calling it this, but I call it the skinny bitch diet, because that's literally what it is. I'm 5'7" doing super bantamweight. Everyone's just like, damn, you're massive for the weight, but I can do it because of him. And just jokey, my sparring partner who I can always count on, and my friend Zoe, who's told, actually, Zoe's told me I'm special. I still don't believe it, but she's been telling me, look, you're special, since the amateur days. So yeah, just shout out to all those people.
And to 258 Management and everyone else that's helping with the career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will, we got it in. Ramla, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I could go on for the rest of the afternoon talking to you. You are an absolute delight. Great boxing brain. I'm following the journey. Everyone jump on it. It's going to be fantastic. One of my favorite boxers and my favorite female boxer now, Ramla Ali. Ramla, sister, thank you very much. Enjoy Ramadan. I know that's coming up.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Thank you from everyone at Pep Talk UK for your time today.
Cheers for having me, Shaz. Thank you.